Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before I get into this afternoon story, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you're representing, and let it be known if you the woman or the man that you say you be. You know, a lot of people are not familiar with me as far as my story. Yeah, they've gone back and watched several of my videos, but for the new individuals that are not that familiar with how I first went to prison, I'm gonna share that story with you all today. You know, my first time going to prison, I want to say it was in 2002, 2003, somewhere right around in there. I was already on probation. My MO was counterfeiting. Now, all of these things that I'm telling you all about is things that I've already served my time for. I no longer partake in these sort of endeavors, if you will. But at the time, this is what I was doing. Counterfeiting was my thing. You see, I was always trying to be the criminal that, well, I'm not stealing from anybody. Although technically you are, because when you go into those banks with, counterfeit checks and, fake credit cards and things of that nature, somebody's taking a loss. But I always attempted to pride myself into saying, I'm not selling poison in the community. I'm not stealing and robbing from, elderly people or just people in general. People at the banks, man, they got millions. Heck, every time you go to an ATM machine and you don't use one of their ATM machines, what do they charge you? Back then, it was probably $1.50, $2. Well, it may not seem like a lot, but those larger banks, just think of how many people's doing that daily. They're collecting millions and millions of dollars off of people. And I would just try to justify these things in my mind. We had the counterfeit money. We had the counterfeit checks. We had the cashier's checks, credit cards. But the main source of I guess the income, to say the least, would come from the counterfeit checks because it was just easy. It was very, very easy. I had access to fake IDs. I had access to real account numbers, check numbers that would show up in sequence when an individual went in to cash the check. So that was it was like taking candy from a baby. Word started to travel that I was getting all of this money. People are always going to talk. I had a close-knit circle. There was a dude named Tommy. Tommy was a guy that I've been knowing probably since I was 8, 9 years old, maybe younger. Had seen him off and on in my life or whatever, and we went to high school together. Kind of, once you graduate high school, everybody just kind of, goes their separate ways in most cases. Tommy and I, we had been cool. I would have actually considered Tommy a good friend of mine. So at this particular time, Tommy hears about, me getting all of this money, supposedly. Tommy's trying to get at me. Tommy's trying to, he wants to get out. Hey, bro, I'm trying to get in on the action, man. I got a sister that works at the bank. She knows what's happening. She said only thing we got to do is just have somebody come to her, tell her whatever. Her little station with a check. As long as the check is good, keep it less than 10 grand so she don't have to get any sort of, real verification on the check, and she'll make sure that it goes through. Just give her $1,000. She's good. He's telling me this story, but something doesn't sit right with me. Something about Tommy that just didn't, I don't know. I was just like, all right, man. But I'm not agreeing to it. I'm just like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm already on probation. I got I want to say 2 years on the shelf. Meaning that if I mess up or whatever, I have to go and do 2 years. I'm moving very, very carefully, so I thought. We getting our money, we hitting different banks, different credit unions or whatever with these checks. And the thing about it wouldn't be on a regular. We might hit for a couple weeks straight or a week or so, make 40, 50,000. 20,000, 30,000, just depends on, the sequence, the situation, the account numbers that we had. Then we'd chill for a couple months. I knew that it was only a matter of time if you got greedy and you continuously done it, because checks leave a paper trail. Although we did have the credit card printing machine to where we would pay for real credit card numbers, and then you put you buy like the little plastic or whatever, and you put it in the machine and the credit card would come out. So for instance, if you gave me your credit card number and I had one of these machines, I could literally, with the software, type in and I'm far from a computer genius, but that's just how easy it was. Type in the information, credit card information, expiration date, little CVC code on the back or whatever. Then the credit card comes up. It comes out like identical, and you could go to the store and literally use a credit card. Didn't really fool with that too much, because from time to time there would be complications in it. Counterfeit money, I didn't really like fooling with that, because people was taking it and jumping into dice games and buying drugs and things like that, and I didn't want any of those things to come back to me, although I never did any of those things. So we primarily focused, as I've already mentioned, on the checks, man. Y'all rock with me. It's 700 degrees out here. So every time I seen Tommy, come on, man, I'm ready to get down, man. I can't really fool with Tommy like that. We hit like a little dry spell. At the time, I was going to the casino kind of heavily. Probably had taken a major loss or several major losses. Money was starting to get kind of funny, man. Anytime I fell below $20,000 back then, I consider myself as, I'm broke, or I'm going broke. Well, I fell way below $20,000. I think I was at less than probably $5,000. Like, man, I got to do something, man. We got to put a plan together. We got to, put a play together, because I got to get this money back up. So I'm talking to my other partner that we all grew up together. Talking to my other partner, Rashad, and I'm telling him about Tommy. He was like, how come you don't want to mess with it? I said, I don't feel something. I don't know. I just don't think I had heard some things about him before. It's been so long ago, I can't quite put my finger on it. Remember Batman? Anybody used to watch Batman back in the day? And Batman, him and Robin will be tied up, and he's trying to escape, but Batman's like, if I could just reach my utility belt. That's how I felt. If I could just put my finger on it, but there was something about Tommy that I didn't want to do business with. Well, Rashad, man, he's like, come on, man, you tripping, man, you paranoid. Shoot, I'll go meet him. All you gotta do is just get the check. I'll go meet him, and we can make this thing happen. Get back on our feet. Originally, I was like, nah, bro, I don't want you to get caught up. He's like, man, that dude ain't no rat, man. That dude ain't working with the police. It's some checks, man. You need to quit watching all them TV shows, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody setting nobody up over no checks. Or maybe you're right. But I'm still not fooling with him. So if you want to go meet him, like you said, you can. But it's your choice. It's like, yeah, man, I go meet him or whatever. I get him the check. He gets in touch with Tommy. He tells him, man, I'm going to come meet you, man, if you want to handle this business. Tommy's like, yeah, we can do that. But see, at the time, when Rashad called Tommy and told him that we was going to get down, pause, Tommy thought that it was going to be me that showed up. You see what I'm saying? He's thinking that it's going to be me because the bank that his sister allegedly so-called worked at, it was in a different city. So we were going to have to drive it wasn't that far. We were going to have to drive 30 minutes. Yeah, we can get down or whatever. So the time is arranged or whatever. I don't even go. I tell Rashad, I say, look, man, bro, I hope this is not a setup. Or you go tripping again, bro. Are you tripping? This ain't no setup. I said, well, look, do me one favor, man. Just only take one check with you. Tommy wanted to bring 2 checks. Only take 1 check with you. Take this cup, put some water in it, take a lighter, Anything look funny, anything look suspicious, man, burn it up, man. I had already had my bout with the detectives. I knew that the detectives were really on some. See, a lot of people think that everything has to be violent, everything has to be, robberies or drugs. They have detectives for every unit, whether it's the financial, theft, what do you call it, fraud or whatever. They have detectives for every unit. I knew that they played dirty. So I said, just in case, man, keep your doors locked at all times. You see anything funny, burn this check up and ride out. We in communication or whatever. He gets there. He's like, man, Tommy's here. Everything looks good. I said, look around, dog. I said, just look around. Just watch around. Like, do you see anything, any police cars, any unmarked cars, anything that looks out of the norm? Well, he's in a different city, although it's just 30 minutes away, but still, he's in an unfamiliar city, so he's looking around and he don't see anything. I hear Tommy walk up to the car. Where's Ken's at? Man, Ken's couldn't make it, man. I got it. So we get off the phone or whatever. Waiting. I'm knowing once you go into a bank, it don't take it long, especially if you got a inside connect, inside source or whatever. So waiting. 10 minutes pass. I'm not thinking anything about it. Mind you, I've never been to prison a day in my life. 20 minutes passes, 30 minutes pass. Pick up the phone, I'm calling Rashad. Phone's ringing, 3 or 4 times, going to voicemail. I wonder what's going on, man. Call back. Same thing. Wait about 10 minutes. Now when I call back, the phone is going straight to voicemail. It's not even ringing. Something's not right. Something's definitely not right. About an hour passes. Still don't hear anything. You know what was so crazy when I really, really think about this story? I had a little stepson, man. I called him my little stepson. His dad never bothered in his life, and I had him in the car with me. I never will forget, I had him in the car with me. I was taking him to the mall to buy him some shoes. All of this is going on while we're in the parking lot at the mall. We go in, get his shoes or whatever, but I can't really focus on him. At the time, he was probably, 8 or 9 years old. I can't really focus on him attention-wise because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my dude. Get him situated, get him something to eat, ice cream, whatever. Take him back home. At this point, it's been like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I done cut the trip short with him, the visit short with him, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on over here. As I mentioned, so my phone rings. It's Rashad. Hello? Yeah, what's up, man? I'm like, what's up, dog? What's going on? Shh, man. You ain't even gonna believe it. I'm like, what happened, dog? He's like, man, So every time I would try to say something, he would cut me off. I was like, don't tell me Tommy done, he would say something, whatever he was saying. He would just say something, literally cut me off, so I'm not saying anything over the phone every single time. I'm like, where you at, bro? He was like, man, meet me at the crib, dog. Talking about my crib. Everybody always came to my crib. We had like a big old crib. We didn't own it, but we had a big old crib with a big basement. We used to just sit downstairs all day long and just kick it, man. Drink, barbecue. Didn't really drink a lot, but they smoked their weed or whatever. We playing the Dreamcast all day long on the big screen. I meet him at the crib. Okay, I'll be there in like an hour. Had to stop and do something or whatever. I get to the crib. I see his car there. So I'm going, I get out of the car. I'm walking in the car, in the house. Next thing I know, man, about 4 detectives just come out of nowhere. I don't even know what these people were. They were like hiding on the side of the house waiting on me. But I don't see any of their cars or anything. They get me. I done been set up. Tommy had set up Rashad, and Rashad set me up. Rashad was my best friend. I'm talking about, man, this was my dog, man. Rashad had set me up, man. You see, initially, Tommy had told the police that it was going to be me. Once he got to the car and he seen that it was Rashad, he was very, very reluctant. He didn't even want to do it, but the play was already in motion. Police ended up coming to the car. When they came to the car, his windows were locked. His doors was locked, rather. He rolls up the window. He goes to burn the check. As he's going to burn the check, the detectives pull his gun out. Freeze! He's still burning the check. The butt of his gun, he busts out the window. They yank him out of the car or whatever. All of this, I'm not even aware of what's going on. All of this was taking place when I'm calling his phone and he's not answering. Police got me and they put me in the back of the car. Actually, they put me in the front seat of the car. Never had this happen before. They put me in the front seat of the car. They're asking me questions about what's going on, about the check, about so many more checks or whatever in situations that had taken place. Man, I don't know what y'all talking about, man. We heard you on the phone. You implicated yourself. Man, I ain't implicated myself in nothing, man. I ain't gave nobody nothing, man. I've been here. Whatever you found is what you found. I don't know the situation, but I ain't have nothing to do with nothing. The detective tells me, I'm going to give you one final opportunity. If you don't tell us nothing, because we already know anyway, we're just trying to give you an opportunity. This time I'm not seasoned as far as talking to detectives or dealing with the police or dealing, I had only been in trouble one prior time, but I knew not to say nothing. Listen, man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Matter of fact, either I'm going to jail, man, or let me out this car, man. Yeah, we'll let you out of the car. Put your hands behind your back, you being arrested or whatever. So they charged me with being in possession of, I think it was a possession of a forged instrument. That's what it was, possession of a forged instrument. How are you going to charge me with something that wasn't in my possession? Well, this individual said that he got it from you. Man, somebody can tell you the sky is purple. Does that mean that it's purple? I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm at the police station. No bail bondsmen in Kentucky. There's no automatic 10% on your bond. My bond is like $5,000 for one check. Felony. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. The money that I had on me, guess what? They tried to seize that. So I sit in jail for a couple of days. I end up making the bond. These are very serious charges, Mr. Keynes. Very serious charges. For a check that never even got cash. Well, it was an attempt and okay, but it never even got cash. Nevertheless, that's what it was. I go back to court. We going through the whole process. I'm knowing I'm going to beat this. I'm really laughing at it. And I'm like, come on, man. Are you serious? Y'all going to try to charge me with something that because he said he got it from me? I ended up speaking with Rashad. I think he reached out to me or whatever. He's like, bro, I know how things look, man, but it wasn't even like that. See, every time you kept trying to say something over the phone, you noticed that I cut you off because I didn't want you to get hemmed up. I said, bro, if you didn't want me to get hemmed up, you wouldn't even have never agreed to call me, and they recorded the phone conversation. You was working with the police, man. So there is no playing two sides of either you are or you're not. You was working with the police. So now you trying to get me caught up. I told you to probably not even fool with him in the first place. Yeah, you did say it, and I should have listened to you, man, but I'm just saying, man, I just hung up the phone. I ain't got nothing else to say. This is probably recorded. I was hurt by that, man. It was my dog, man. So I'm going through the process. everything starts off in district court in Kentucky anyway. It starts off in district court. They waive your case to the grand jury, which is just a group of people, regular people. They look at the circumstances of the case. There's an old saying, you can indict a ham sandwich. Everybody gets indicted. 9.999 times out of 10, you're going to get indicted. All that means is a crime potentially took place, and it goes up to circuit court, which is felony court. I get up to felony court. We get arraigned. That's your initial court appearance. But it was a tremendous difference. They had superseded the indictment, which meant that they had added charges onto the indictment. Organized crime, criminal syndicate, a group of 5 or more people coming together to commit criminal activities on a continuous basis. It's like 11 of us on the indictment. Everybody's pointing the finger at me. Out of 10 other individuals that was on that indictment, 9 of them were pointing the finger at me, and 1 of them was on the fence. You got people that are saying that I made them cash these checks, credit cards. You got people saying that they were cashing $2,800 checks, and I was only giving them $50. You got people that were saying, I thought the checks was good. I know that he owned his own business, which I did. So he just told me, just making up stuff. People was begging me in certain situations for these checks so that they can go cash them, get a fake ID. But then, see, the thing about when you're doing crimes in cahoots, it's all good when everybody's eating, everybody's getting the money. Is, you know, people coming out of the bank, they got the envelope, they coming out of the bank sea walking, and, you know, because they happy, they got this big, you know, envelope full of money. But when it hit the fan, totally different ball game. You see, individuals had already been instructed, listen, if you ever get questioned, I don't know what y'all talking about, I need an attorney. They can't prove it's you when you went into the bank to cash the check. You had a hat on. You had a fake ID. The check was already signed, so you didn't even have to use your own handwriting. If they did a thumbprint, you put the glue on your, and I'm not trying to entice or tell people how to beat the system. This is a long time ago. I'm just saying this is what we did. Put the super glue on your thumb. You know how they used to make you press down when you cash a check? That's how they used to do it here. You get your thumbprint, you put the super glue, it distorts the thumbprint. As long as you tell the people you don't know what they're talking about, they have to let you go. People get in the room, gangsters. You know what I'm saying? All types of people that claim that I ain't gonna never tell on myself. All types of individuals that claim that they're this and they're that. When they in the interrogation room, all of that goes out the window. He made me do it. I was afraid. You was afraid of what? Show you phone records when you blowing my phone up. I don't have any food in the refrigerator. It's Christmas time. I don't have any gifts for my kids. I'm already in trouble. The law's after Johnny Law. He's already after me anyway. Heard every reason, every excuse under the sun. But like I said, when it all hit the fan, everybody's pointing the finger at me. Ended up having a cool judge. The judge could have locked me up right then and there. But he was decent. I'm not going to call him cool, but he was decent. He allowed me to stay out on my original bond. So I'm out. I'm not to have contact with any of my co-defendants. We're co-defendants, but really they're witnesses against me. I'm heated. I am heated. We were going to have several court dates. Because when you're dealing with a large group of people like that, a criminal syndicate, you know, you got 10, 11, 12 people on the indictment, you got to get all the lawyers on one page to be able to come to court, and, you know, they filing briefs and hearings and things of that nature. So we had several court dates. So thankful that I wasn't locked up, because it would be 3 and 4 months sometimes, you know, between court dates. That's how they get people to plead guilty a lot of times, because you get tired of going through the process of getting up early in the morning, going to court, being shackled down, locked down all day long, 8-9 hours, then you come back, then you gotta go back and do it again, and then you gotta wait 3 or 4 months before you go back to court. Just go and get me to the penitentiary, man. Get me out of this county jail. It's a living hell. And get me to the penitentiary. Like I said, I just happened to be out and we was at court one day. I never will forget this. When we was leaving out of court, I go to get on the elevator. When I go to get up, because like I'm walking around, like I'm coming from like around the corner. So the elevator door was still open. I guess it was just timing. You know, two mountains that never meet, but two men will. I walk onto the elevator. Lo and behold, it's Tommy and his father. His father's kind of elderly. I'm not gonna necessarily say elderly, but at the time we was in our early 20s, so Tommy's father was probably, I don't know, he's probably 55, 60 at the time. I walk onto the elevator. I'm mad. I'm mad on the dog and the hecker, you son of a bitch. That's how mad I am, man. Tommy's about 6'3", 6'4". He probably weighs, I don't know, he ain't really wasn't a big, he was kind of like tall and lanky, but he had some little size to him. He was over 200 pounds. I ain't number 5'11", but I'm 5'11". I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking about this dude, man, wearing a wire, setting the whole thing up. I was like, man, you's a bitch. That's exactly what I said to him. I said, you's a bitch. He just kind of looked at me. I said it again as he's walking towards, because we had gotten like to the floor we were going to. So as he's kind of walking towards the door, I just stood there. I didn't move. I was closest to the door because I walked on the elevator last. Socked him right there in the elevator, man. He grabs me, we tussling. Now we out in the hallway. The bailiffs, the sheriffs, they see, they come break us up or whatever. We getting ready to go to jail again. We just left the courtroom. We getting ready to go to jail. Thank goodness one of the sheriffs or whatever, he knew one of us, probably knew both of us or whatever. Gave us a stern warning. Well, this fool, Tommy, goes back and tells his lawyer, you know, what happened. So the next time I go to court, they charge me. They charge me with I get rearrested. I get charged with intimidating a witness. So now I'm in jail on another felony charge. So I'm in a Commonwealth state. Everything's a felony here. They make up laws as they go here, literally. Intimidating a witness. I end up making bond on that. So now I'm out on 2 bonds. I go to see my PO. My PO puts in an order to have me revoked. I ain't been convicted of anything, but just the fact that I'm out on 2 bonds, got arrested a couple times, she puts in an order to have me revoked. I'm locked up. Go see the judge. The judge agrees. Send me up the river. I've given you chance after chance after chance. This judge was cool. Judge Isaacs. I've given you chance and you just keep doing what you want to do. Because see, I had a different judge from the judge that I was charged with on the syndicate case was a different judge than my probation judge. I'm always painting a picture for you all. I'm tired of giving you these chances, and she sent me up the river, man. 2 years. I'm thinking I'm going to sit in the county jail and fight these charges. I had never been in the county jail for no more than a few days. I'm in there for about 30 days. They call B&B. B&B means pack it up. 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. B&B. They come over the loudspeaker. They say your name, pack it up. You're going to the pen. I'm shocked. I'm nervous. Because I'm thinking, man, I'm still dealing with this criminal, this criminal case or whatever. They send me to prison, send me to the Rotary Farm, a.k.a. the fish tank. It's where you go and get processed. Go down there, and you might be down there 2 months, 3 months, 4 months or whatever, and they're going to send you to whatever prison that you're going to go to from there once you get classified. And It's a point system that they use or whatever to determine where you'll be sent to. They sent me behind the walls with the lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, and bears because I had a pending case. Even though my crime was minor in comparison to the other dudes that was in the system, I had a pending case. So being that I had a pending felony case, they sent me behind the fence. I'm having to go back and forth to court from behind the walls. Very, very long, strenuous, stressful process. They got this little black box. Google the prison black box if you're not familiar with it already. Oh man, it's torture, it's hell. Supposedly it was invented by an inmate, and they keep you in this black box all day long. So if you gone 10 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, that black box never comes off you. Here I am in prison for some daggone checks. I'm going back and forth. My attorney at the time, which is a judge now, he wanted $5,000 more to go to trial, man. I'm not out on the streets. Plus I got 9 people testifying against me. I can't pay another $5,000. He's telling me, listen, man, I think I can get you 6 years today if you want to take his deal. I can get you. Nah, he said I can get you probably 5 years today if you go on and take this deal, this plea deal. 5 years. Then I already had 2. That would have gave me 7. It's non-violent, so I would only do 20% of my time before I'm eligible for parole. Sometimes I used to think that I was smarter than the system. Nah, I ain't taking no 5, man. Man, I'm telling you, this is a good deal, man. I went to school with this judge, or I played golf with him, or whatever they used to do. I can get you 5, because I was pleading guilty to 2 counts. 5 on each count. But he's like, I can get him to run them concurrent for 1 sentence of 5 years. Nah, that deal's not good enough. He withdraws from my case, so now they give me a public defender. I done went backwards. This attorney I had was one of the coldest attorneys around, Ernesto Scorsoni. Known for getting people off. Now I'm in court looking silly with a legal aid. I'm not even talking to the legal. I don't see the legal aid. I'm in prison. So the only time I see the legal aid is when they bring me back and forth to court for 2 minutes before I go into the courtroom to see the judge. Act as though I was going to go to trial. I knew that it was just insurmountable. I couldn't beat it. All these different people pointing the finger at me, there was no way I could beat it. They weren't coming down on the plea deal. So I ended up pleading guilty to the 5 and 5. The 2 counts. I get into court. Once again, I made a terrible, I don't know. I didn't know any better at the time. Showed no real remorse, no contrition. Like, Your Honor, I understand that what I did was wrong. Because you give a statement before they sentence you. I know what I did was wrong. I was raised better than that. I offer no excuses for my actions. Everything was, seemed to be going well. But then I say, but come on, Your Honor, I ain't like I killed nobody. I mean, we're talking about some checks here, man. We're talking about checks. Why did I say that? That was the worst thing I could have said. He hears me out or whatever. After that, he's going looking at his paperwork or whatever. He gives me the 5 years, and the 5 years ran consecutive. Wow, that's what they call it, random wild, for 10 years. Hard labor, Kentucky Department of Corrections. Get him out of my courtroom. So now I got these 10 years on top of the 2 that I've already been violated for. So I got a 12-year sentence. So it's the first time when I went to prison on a 12-year sentence. We're supposed to go to boot camp, in which you go, it's for first-time offenders. Don't necessarily have to be your first charge, but the first time you've been down to prison. Do 180 days in boot camp, then you come home, as long as you complete it. By the judge giving me that extra 5 years, I wasn't immediately eligible for boot camp because you had to be like so close to the parole board and able to go. In order to go, rather, I'm sorry. So I had to do like 4 or 5 months before I was going to become eligible. And in that next class, I was supposed to be in the next class. They abruptly shut boot camp down. And we'd been hearing rumors anyway that boot camp was going to be shut down. So that's when the real reality hit me that I was going to have to do 2 years and 5 months. Never done more than 30 days in the county jail. I was going to have to do 2 years and 5 months before I would even remotely have a chance of going home. Before I would be eligible for parole, 2 years and 5 months. First time ever going to prison. I was so hurt about my partner telling on me, not necessarily Tommy, but Rashad, man. I couldn't believe that he did that, man. All of them guys got off with like misdemeanors, or they got like a year probated. And I got sent to prison, man. I did the 2 years and 5 months, and fortunately I ended up making parole. My first time going up for parole. I would return to prison several more times after that. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I would return back to prison after doing all that time the first time. I took every class possible. I got my certification in to be an electrician. It was masonry, you know, brick, block, mortar, all that stuff. Knew how to use a trowel and I was good at all that stuff, but I never really utilized it when I came home. If you out here and you doing dirt, understand that one day that dirt will catch up on you, catch up with you. You see, Tommy had gotten into a situation in which he got caught up with something that I didn't even remotely have nothing to do with whatsoever. And he didn't want to do the time. After all, who does? I could tell y'all about this dude named Kens, man. He makes a lot of money, man. He makes a lot of money with these checks and these credit cards, and he dibbles and dabbles and this and that, but he makes mainly his money is made over here. I know him. I personally know him. I know everybody that he hangs with. I know his whole circle. And they jumped on it. Something minor as checks. See, in reality, there's no such thing as minor crimes. Every crime in the eyes of the law is very, very serious. So if you're out here and you're doing dirt, understand that you shouldn't be doing it. It's not a good look for you to be doing it. But if you just must do it, which I don't recommend, but if you just must do it, you better do your dirt on by your lonesome. Because the individual is always going to have something over you, hanging over your head. You're always going to have, especially if it's something like very, very, very serious, like, you know, somebody got unalived or something like that. There's no statute. What do you call it? Statute of limitation, yeah. And it can be brought up at any time. So it's just best to leave the game alone altogether, man. All of these years, Rashad, I've seen him a couple times. He ended up moving away. I think he moved out west, on the West Coast. Tommy, I still see his punk ass from time to time. I see him, he be trying to come up to me and speak. He's a truck driver. He does like local routes or whatever. He'll come up to me, what's up, man? Like it never even happened. I don't let bygones be bygones. I'm not even in that lifestyle no more. So, hey, what up, man? I ain't never exposed him. I ain't never said nothing. He called himself trying to be a rapper, a gangster rapper of all things. I seen his videos. I ain't never said a word, man. Yeah, people knew what he did back then, but I'm saying since, there's no reason for me to bring up things like that. After all, I'm not even in that lifestyle anymore. And I definitely learned my lesson eventually, because that would be the first of 3 criminal syndicates that I got charged with. Real Kens TV. Hopefully y'all like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Miss Deborah, I'm putting my seatbelt on. I typically do wear my seatbelt, and if y'all ever see me and I don't have it on, that's normally because I'm on a street and it's a very quiet street, and it's not busy, and I'm going to my destination, which is right around the corner. Real Ken's TV, man.